As always, I'll record the meeting, so for any parents who wish to review this at a later date, they can so on our blog, and also if you would like to share with other parents, you can via the blog. So welcome to Coffee and Answers, the first for 1.2, the second of the year. So it's an opportunity for us to share with you the intentions for this half term and then future suggestions for term 2. And also for you as parents to ask questions if you so wish to for any clarity needed. So as always, the foundation leadership team, you have myself. We are joined in 1.2 by Miss Annalise Darning-Suan and as well as Ajahn Kamara Krushain. Just take this opportunity for Miss Darning-Suan to introduce herself to you parents. Over to you.
Hi everyone, good morning, happy Friday. I'm Miss Darning-Suan, the new Deputy Head of the Foundation phase. I've been at A&S for 3 years. I've taught in Year 3, Year 2 and in Year 1, and I'm also the Science Curriculum Leader for the Foundation phase. Before this, I've also taught in Hong Kong and in London. Very pleased to be meeting you virtually today, hoping to meet you in person soon. Thank you.
Thank you. And the primary leadership team, you have again myself, you have Mr. Matthew Powell, who joins us in 1.2, as well as Ajahn Ratti, Kru On, and Ajahn Witticha, Kru Meji. And over to Mr. Power to introduce himself.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Matthew Power. This is my second year at A&S. I was previously in Year 5. Before that, I was in China working at Dulwich College, Suzhou, and a Chinese bilingual school. And I'm really excited and happy to be here. So fantastic to meet you all.
Thank you. So as always, if there is any Wi-Fi interruption, we will just close the meeting and then rejoin. So far, touching wood, we've not had any issues in the past, but if you are encountering anything personally, just disconnect and rejoin and I will add you. Any sound issues, just keep your mic off. And if you are unable to hear me or any one of the presenters, just add to the chat any difficulty you're encountering. Any questions, just so we can continue with the flow of the conversation, questions are best at the end, or if you have anything pending, just add to the chat in Thai or in English, and one of the team can answer you, or we can wait until the actual question and answer. For your safety, I can't tell you what to do, but I can suggest avoid driving and interacting with this meeting, just for your safety and of others. So the expectations, as always, is to have an open and honest conversation with the leadership team. So we will answer to the best of our ability to you, and if we are unable to, we will get back to you as soon as possible. Obviously, things are changing very quickly in the school with COVID, so any updates we will share with you as soon as possible. For you as parents, obviously in different classes and year groups, we'll have different questions or viewpoints. So if you are asking any question about a specific homeroom teacher or subject teacher, I personally would prefer that one-to-one, maybe after the meeting, or we can arrange a conversation at a later date, trying to keep this meeting as open as possible rather than focusing on individual teachers or needs of individual children. And of course, it will be presented in English by English-speaking teachers and then Thai in the 3 Thai-speaking teachers. Here's some reminder of the contacts. You have my PA, Kun Joy, you have my Administrative Assistant, Kun Namun, and of course, you as parents, if you are aware of any absences or scheduled absences, please contact absent at Amnoisin. Any medical needs, especially with COVID, nurse at Amnoisin. And then, of course, just a reminder of all the other contacts we have after school, finance, registrar, school shop. And then if you have any questions that you want the school, Mr. Pine specifically, or the CEO to consider, it's ans@amnoisin. As always, we draw your attention to our guiding statements, our global education, local tradition. I just want to give some focus to the 3 parts of our mission. We are bilingual, we respect Thai culture, and we are globally aware. For those of you familiar with interculturalism, it enables the children to have that respect for themselves of others. So it's an appreciation of similarities and differences and how we can together as well. So awareness of the, again, Thai identity, but international mindset. So appreciating different approaches and views to certain aspects of life. Over to
ครับผมสำหรับในเรื่องของการสื่อสารของเรานะครับการสื่อสารของเราในโรงเรียนเราจะมีการสื่อสารอยู่2ช่องทางด้วยกันนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องของ Google Classroom แล้วก็เป็น Blocksphere นะครับ Google Classroom ของเราเนี่ยเราจะมีการแจ้งการบ้านนะครับสำหรับนักเรียนนะครับส่วน Google Blocksphere เนี่ยเราจะมีการแจ้งข้อมูลการเรียนต่างๆหรือข่าวสารต่างๆนะครับซึ่งผู้ปกครองสามารถ access เข้าใน Blocksphere ได้นะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็น Blocksphere .amnoisin.ac.th หรือว่าจะเข้าผ่านของ School Website ก็ได้นะครับไปที่ Portal แล้วก็ไปที่ Blocksphere นะครับ Username ที่จะใช้ก็คือ Visitor นะครับแล้วก็ตัว Password ก็คือจะเป็น Thinking นะครับพอเราล็อกอินเข้าไปแล้วนะครับเดี๋ยวพอเราล็อกอินเข้าไปแล้วนะครับอันนี้จะเป็นหน้าตัวอย่างนะครับในการล็อกอินเข้าไปพอเราล็อกอินเข้าไปปุ๊บเราจะมีแท็กอันนี้จะเป็นตัวอย่างเช่นเราไปที่ Primary นะครับแล้วก็เราไปที่ Visit อันนี้จะเป็นข้อมูลในการโครงการทัศนศึกษาของเราในตรงนี้นะครับเช่นyear 3ของเราจะไปที่พิพิธภัณฑ์การเกษตรนะครับyear 4เราก็จะไปในที่ของพิพิธภัณฑ์เด็กนะครับyear 5ไปที่บางไทรแล้วก็year 6เราจะไปที่วัดเฉลิมพระเกียรติกันนะครับซึ่งหลังจากที่ไปทริปแล้วทุกอย่างจะมีการอัปเดตไว้ในที่ Blocksphere ซึ่งผู้ปกครองสามารถรับติดตามข่าวสารในการทัศนศึกษาหรือข้อมูลต่างๆได้จากจาก Blocksphere เป็นอีกหนึ่งช่องทางครับ
Parents, I can see straight away a comment being made that the English translation is not correct. If you are using the button at the bottom calling CC for subtitles, automatic translation through Google, that's not one of us translating, just to make you aware. But thank you for the feedback. We'll contact Google because obviously that's affecting general translation for Thai. But thank you. Over to Mr. Parry.
So intervention at ANS is part of our bespoke education philosophy. So as you can see on the screen, we look at 4 different types: academic, attendance, behavioral, and pastoral. And intervention is about tailoring our approach to the children's needs. It may be by the class teacher, it may be by a learning support assistant. There are many different people who work with the children on intervention, and it's designed to help them reach their full potential. So for example, a class teacher might work with a small group on a friendship issue, so that will be a pastoral well-being issue, or it may be an LSA working with individuals on an academic issue to support them learning and solidifying their ideas. So intervention is not something to worry about, it's just there as part of our tailored approach to support the children in their learning. And I'm just going to check on Mr. Parry. It looks like he may have frozen. If you just bear with us a second, I think Mr. Parry might leave the meeting and come back, and hopefully he'll be back with us soon. Apologies about the
It's just started
disconnection.
raining at school. I think this could be why. Hi parents, I'm due to speak next. I'm going to talk about Crew Mint. Now, not only do we provide academic interventions, we also provide the children with an opportunity to develop their social and emotional well-being. And we're very fortunate to have Crew Mint working with us at A&S. Crew Mint is our school counsellor, and there are a few different things that she can do. She has her own office space, so confidentiality is really key. So the children feel safe enough to come and talk to her so she can listen, so she can have counselling sessions with the children where they can work together to develop strategies so the children can do their best learning. At A&S, we know that happy children do their best learning, and that's what we really want to work together to make sure happens. For the older children, they are able to do a self-referral and come to Crew Mint's office to talk to her. For the younger children, that referral is made based on observations made in the classroom. They could also be based on conversations that have been had between home and school, so that we can make sure the children are able to do their best when they're here. I'm going to stop presenting now so that Mr. Parry can take over.
Sorry, parents. Of course, that had to happen to me. Right, let's resume. Amazing. Sorry, parents. This is the first time we've encountered this, and of course, it happened to have for us. Ms. Darlington, do you mind if you present, and then we'll just go through your presentation?
That's absolutely fine. I'll just do that now.
Sorry, everyone. So my part is talking about safeguarding the children. As always, you know, parents, that I'm one of the designated safeguard leaders. So if you have any concern about the safety of your children in terms of physical, emotional, social, and into the extreme towards sexual, if you feel that certain parts of your child has been inappropriately touched or been talked about, that is a responsibility of us to ensure the children feel safe and has a right to that safety as well. Annalise? So of course, how we keep the children safe. If we are having the children online, they'll always be recorded just for their safety and our safety as well. We of course have the safeguarding policy that is on the website and parent portal. All of our teachers, especially the new teachers joining Amnosin, are trained and aligned to the high standards of safeguarding we have in the school. The children as part of that safeguarding measure are never alone in the classroom. So it's never a child's word against a teacher's word. There'll always be an array of children in the classroom or multiple teachers in the classroom. It's never a one-to-one situation. And of course, for those safety aspects, there are CCTV cameras throughout the school, not in the classroom, hence why we don't do one-to-one, but in the corridor spaces and communal spaces as well. Thank you. And of course, linked to respecting rights, we are bronze level at the moment, so we are introductory level, but moving towards silver and gold internally. We want the children to feel that empowerment of self-control and feeling that they have a voice of change in the school. Hence why we have student council, respecting rights explorers, and eco warriors. So it's not just adults leading the rights of the children, it is from the children as well. So it's that mutual respect, feeling that everyone has that opinion. So therefore, we are thinkers, we are curious, we are respectful. So that's drawing back to the guidance statements that we want the children to aspire to. Thank you. Kushan.
ค่ะในส่วนของกิจกรรม after school ก็อย่างที่ทุกท่านตอนนี้อันนี้ทางทีม after school เองนะคะต้องขอบคุณทุกท่านมากเลยนะคะเพราะว่าที่ผ่านมาเนี่ยทุกท่านเนี่ยได้ให้ความร่วมมือในการรับนักเรียนดีมากเลยนะคะขอบคุณมากนะคะแล้วก็เรายังคงระบบนี้ตามเดิมต่อไปนะคะจนกว่าจะจบเทอม 1.2 เพราะว่าณนาทีนี้เนี่ยด้วยสถานการณ์ของโควิดนะคะทีม after school ก็ยังขอให้ผู้ปกครองเนี่ยช่วยรับนักเรียนที่ประตู fifth gate ตามจุดที่ได้มอบที่ได้ตกลงกันไว้ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
So parents, just to share with you, as we are in the first week of a 10-week half term, it's only fair to share with you an outline of what we are to expect. So for the first 5 weeks shown here, you can see that the Friday will alternate as per my email yesterday, but just to share with you again. Term 1-2 also starts the educational visits the children will be going on. So you will be informed per year group of the venue and specific dates, but the dates are here for you to see as well. You are welcome to take a snapshot if you so wish to, but the information will be shared with you. Again, as part of our safeguarding, health and safety, every single time the children are removed off-site, there is a risk assessment undertaken. So every single venue that we are going to take the children to, different for each year group, has been visited by our staff and has been thoroughly risk assessed. And every venue has been determined safe according to the measures that we will have in place. In order to ensure a safe environment, it is a staff to child ratio, so the children are never too many to control. Measures in place for COVID have been placed. For example, masks are to be worn. Outdoor dining where possible. If there is indoor dining, there is significant space between the children, so that continues as well. For those of you who are parents in year 5 and year 6, an email will be sent this week promoting to you in the 4th week the first aid training. So again, information will be shared with you on that. Week 6 to 10, again, we continue with the educational visits and the significant dates for clothing. Moving into term 2, we will have more events associated to trips and residentials, as well as swimming galas and what we would determine as Thai cultural events. And for those of you who've been in the school for more than 3 years, so unaffected by COVID, you'll be familiar with the Thai cultural events that we host for each year group. Thank you. I'll pass you now to Ms. Daniel.
And if you have a child in nursery reception or year 1, we have another event as well that you'll be invited to. We've got our Stay and Play event for nursery children, Stay and Create for reception, and Stay and Innovate for year 1. And thank you so much to all the parents who were able to join us last half term for these events. Using your feedback, we've made some changes. So this time you will be invited to join your child in their learning environment, which will be really nice. So we're not going to be in the main hall, we're going to be in the classroom. So thank you for your feedback. And during this event, you're going to get an opportunity to work with your child, to engage with the other parents, with the homeroom teachers, to see how your child interacts with their peers as well. You might be working on a project. If you're coming for Stay and Innovate with year 1, you'll see lots of examples of cross-curricular learning and how the classroom operates. So we look forward to seeing you then.
Kushan.
ในส่วนของกิจกรรม enrichment นะคะซึ่งเราได้มีการจัดเป็นกิจกรรมที่เป็น extra พิเศษสำหรับนักเรียนนะคะซึ่งตอนนี้เนี่ยในของระดับ nursery เนี่ยจะมี2กิจกรรมก็คือ music and movement แล้วก็ Junbit fitness ในส่วนของ reception จะมี3ก็คือ self little sprout Junbit finish แล้วก็ dancing star นะคะส่วนyear 1เนี่ย จะมี4กิจกรรมก็คือ dancing star taekwondo self แล้วก็ music movement ซึ่งกิจกรรมเหล่านี้ค่ะจะใช้วิธีการ rotate คือการเวียนตามห้องต่างๆนะคะน้องทุกคนจะได้เรียนกิจกรรมต่างๆเนี่ยเท่ากันค่ะซึ่งจุดประสงค์หลักของการจัดกิจกรรมนี้เนี่ย ส่วนใหญ่แล้วเนี่ยเราจะโฟกัสว่าให้เด็กได้ลองค้นพบตัวเองว่าได้มีความชอบอะไรเป็นพิเศษหรือเปล่าก็อย่างเช่นเทควันโดเนี่ยน้องบางคนก็ค้นพบว่าตัวเองชอบเทควันโดก็เลยได้ไปเรียนปรับอาหารเหมือนกับว่าได้ออกกำลังกายแล้วก็ได้ไปส่งเสริมได้รับการส่งเสริมต่อในเรื่องของการลงเรียนเทควันโดค่ะเป็นต้นค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
Mr Power.
As Mr Parry already mentioned, we're very pleased to say that educational visits will be resuming this term 1.2. Educational visits are a fantastic opportunity to enrich the learning, to take the children out of the classroom into a new environment and really bring the learning to life. They also provide chances for the children to provide service and become part of the wider community. Part of our mission is to be globally aware and respect Thai culture. So this is again all part of that mission. All trips that you can see listed on the board here. So there'll be trips for nearly every year group this term. As Mr Parry has already said, information will come from the school about that before the trip. So you'll have all the information from the homeroom teachers and the school.
Thank you. And Crew On and Crew Meji.
ค่ะสำหรับกิจกรรมไทย Cultural Days นะคะหรือวันอนุรักษ์วัฒนธรรมไทยนะคะซึ่งกิจกรรมในวันนี้นะคะจะส่งเสริมให้นักเรียนเนี่ยได้เรียนรู้แล้วก็รับประสบการณ์นะคะเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของวัฒนธรรมไทยอีกทั้งได้สัมผัสวิถีชีวิตนะคะศิลปะวัฒนธรรมผ่านงานหัตถศิลป์แล้วก็สามารถนำความรู้เนี่ยไปประยุกต์ใช้ในกิจกรรมข้างนอกโรงเรียนได้ด้วยนะคะซึ่งกิจกรรมนี้นะคะจะมีขึ้นในเทอมที่2ค่ะโดยแต่ละชั้นปีนะคะจะมีการกำหนดธีมหรือหัวข้อนะคะที่เกี่ยวข้องกับวิชาต่างๆที่นักเรียนเนี่ยได้ศึกษาอยู่นะคะเมื่อคุณครูได้รายละเอียดต่างๆแล้วเนี่ยก็จะมีการติดต่อประสานงานนะคะไปยังท่านผู้ปกครองในแต่ละชั้นปีนะคะและอาจจะมีการนัดพูดคุยกันกับตัวแทนผู้ปกครองนะคะถึงกิจกรรมและผลที่คาดหวังนะคะโดยที่ทุกกิจกรรมนะคะจะนำโดยท่านผู้ปกครองค่ะซึ่งก็ถือเป็นโอกาสอันดีนะคะที่นักเรียนแล้วก็ผู้ปกครองเนี่ยได้ทำกิจกรรมร่วมกันค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
And Mr Power.
In years 4 to 6, the children are allowed to bring in their own devices. This is a fantastic way of enriching the learning again because we are promoting inquiry-based learning. We are promoting the thinking approach rather than the simple retention of facts. So having a device makes that so much more interesting and engaging for the children and allows the expansion of the learning. The teachers will be sharing a continuum with you in the next month. For parents who are looking to buy a device in the future, for example, if your child is in year 3 and you're looking to purchase a device for BYD next year, we would highly recommend purchasing a laptop device over, say, an iPad. Whilst the iPads have many good features, they are limited in some of the apps and programs they can use. For example, with the Google Classroom, the Google Suite, not everything is functional on the iPad. So we would highly recommend that parents opt for a laptop device for engagement with the learning.
Thank you. So parents, over to you. Any questions that we are able to answer, if possible? You can put your hand up or talk or chat. Ooh, straight away. 1, 2, 2. Prem.
Sorry, I'm using Prem's account.
Oh, okay.
Join. It is me actually, not Prem. Mr. Parry and all the teachers, thank you very much. I have 10 questions and comments.
Okay.
So please take notes of the question because I'm going to, read them through because it's cross over some of your presentation.
Okay.
So
can we answer one by one?
Up to you. It is
Okay.
up to you. Yeah. Perhaps you would like to listen to the question first and, some of the questions you can group them. So
Okay.
then it would also allow the other parents to also asking questions too. So my first, actually not a question, but observation and also suggestion is that perhaps it is time to change the password of the block spheres because the block sphere, even though it's kind of public, but it should be exclusively for the current parents of the NS students. And we had been using this password and for the past 10 years, if I'm not mistaken, since the Blocksphere was already introduced. And also the password also should be changed in the parents' card to enter into school too. So this is also to do with the safety of the picking up the students. Because some of the nannies, before we allowed parents to come into school just before COVID time. And during COVID time, everything was mainly blocked and it is limited. But again, I think this would be an opportunity for times that you would need to perhaps update the, assessing cards, the parents and the teachers and the students has been holding. So yeah, I think it's better to invest in that for the safety of the children.
Mm-hmm.
My second point is on the your roles and Kupan roles and Mr. Mandan's role in safeguard
DSL,
parents or
safeguarding, yes.
Yeah, thank you. And about bullying issues and situations in the school. So I would like to hear more on how did you deal with cases, perhaps, said that how often you are reported about cases that is going on in the class or in the school, especially in the primary and nursery phase, and how did you deal with it? How many successful cases that you deal with it? You don't need to say it in great detail because it's confidential. But again, it would be nice to also for parents to look into appraise your performance, on this particular subject, which is the subject of the serious concern of not only the parents, I think it's the school community, the whole for all of us. And it's linked to number 3 of the appraisal. Would the student counselor comment and this is not to name, but again, be appraised of her performance. I think we have 1 or 2 or 3 student counselors, the psychologist, right? In the secondary phase as well, and also in the primary phase. I think their performance should also be appraised by, as I don't know how to, but by the parents as well, for the parents or the students who receive services, from them. So then we would be nice that we hear some feedback on that. So, and also now my 4th point is on the quality of the Wi-Fi in school, that we experienced it this morning, and I heard a lot of these complaints from my children's as well as their friend as well, that the Wi-Fi in school is not very great enough and sometimes it was disrupted. And when the school, there was an incident last term or the term before, that there was an incident about the electricity cut down. So basically the school will freeze and nothing, you were basically waiting in the dark to get everything back. So if there is these circumstances, would there be any backup plan for the teachers to teach without technology? This interrelated and also related to the last point of Mr. Sorry, I missed your name. The new
Power.
deputy. Yeah, Mr. Powell. Question, not question, information sharing about bring your own device to school. Again, I think we are familiar with each other for so long, and my position to this policy has always been negative, personally. But again, since we cannot resist, and I would really like to suggest that additional information should be given to parents. For example, how many hours per day or per week students in each different year groups would have access or would use these devices at school. these devices is expensive, and we cannot afford, having the children carrying these heavy laptops to school for just half an hour or 1 hour, and whether it is necessary for them to spend their time searching in the internet while they have the real person, the real teacher to speak to. So that's always my concern, especially it would affect so badly to their eyesight if you notice a lot of kids in our school start wearing glass. And I think that is unnecessary. And whatever habit that is happening in the classroom would also bring back to home as well. So basically we have to police our children and to watch over them, whether they are really using Google Classroom, Google Suite, or they are swimming in YouTubes. So I think the school would need to help us at home as well to find this balance, especially when families do not, when the parents, both mother and father, has to work, and we rely on the nannies or grandparents to watch after our children while we work at home. They cannot catch the children.
Okay.
My three last points is on the water dispensers at school. I understand that the school has replaced it some years ago, maybe or recently, but again, I was told that now the quality of water is cold. When the children needs cold water, it is now cold. But again, it tastes so different. So do you have any regular checking or testing this water? Because this is the complaint I've been hearing for the past year, not only from my children. They said that the water tastes like a pipe water. So perhaps the filters would need to be looked at more carefully, or checking out the higher level of quality of the water filters in that machine. So it would be highly appreciated. And also on what do you mean by bronze when you talk about children's rights? Could you please, elaborate further on, rights? And also the student council, the representative of the student council. Perhaps it would be also nice that, it is explained more properly to children, to the student in the younger age, what are the role of, student councils, and why should become a representative in this council, because this could really enhance their leadership, what you call capacity performance. So then they focus on leadership and, be representative of their year group at the younger age. So one last point, Mr. Parry, is about the reward system. It's about the reward system. And I think this is a very, very good and positive reinforcement that could help creating very, admiring behavior academically and personally. Is that every week you would have something which is called Star of the Week, or, that certificates. These are something that is very, very meaningful to children at all age, even in the secondary school, even in the secondary classes. But I would really like that, this kind of certificate is distributed very, very evenly, especially to something that look extremely small in an adult eye, but really bring the brighter hearts of the students. I recall that 7 years ago, my son came back home with this, my older son, he is now in secondary, came back home with these certificates. And what it is mentioned in that make him so proud, and he couldn't stop smiling for the past week, like 1 week. And it said that Bloom was able to control himself, speaking less but meaningful. That's it. And then I asked him what did he do to receive this certificate. He said that he speak 3 words less today. but it's consistent because he always get notification of speaking too much. And so then he control himself to speak less and more meaningful. So this kind of little small thing that has nothing to do with academic performance would help a lot and make the children's day. I wish that this continued.
I agree.
Thank you very much. These are all the points.
Thank you. So I will try to address each point. Okay, so hopefully what Kunjitama raised is similar thinking to other parents. So the first one about basically around security, the question 1, question 2 about the blog and the security card, very relevant point. So thank you for that. I will raise about the blog password being changed with what we would call SALT. So SALT is Mr. Pine, Mr. Mandan, Ajahn Urchit, school director, and myself. So the top 4 of the school will come together and see if it is necessary, and if it is, what is the next step as well. The last thing we want to do, if we are changing the passwords quite regularly, is to cause that confusion, because even though the password has remained thinking, so visitor and thinking since its creation, there are still a number of parents who still ask, what is the access details? So we wouldn't want to cause that confusion by regular changing, but I totally agree for security aspects, etc. The role of the DSL with regards to bullying, my role is to ensure that with support of parents, from staff and from children, that we create a safe environment. And the ways in which we do that is firstly through education, so the curriculum. So the children are being taught a scheme called Jigsaw. So if you were to Google well-being jigsaw scheme, it would come up, and many international schools are following that, and it's been brought in from one of our UK teachers who had led it successfully in their previous school, and it's been quite successful here in terms of its delivery and its progression of skills. Primarily, the children are taught about themselves and boundaries of others. So you, hopefully parents know that I'm very adverse from calling children or labeling children bullying, because immediately we focus on that label and forget that it's the needs of that individual that need to be aligned to what is the standard of appropriate behavior, rather than you're a bully, that's wrong, this is your consequence. So it's all about educating the child what is a better an appropriate way to manage their personal behavior and behavior shared with others. That is a almost shared responsibility with school and home. Often parents are very active in informing the school that this has happened to my child, please be aware of this, please help my child. That is immediately taken care of, and a very high success rate with that support. Often, and I say a minority, some parents tell us quite late saying, oh, we didn't want to cause a fuss, or we wanted to see how things were handled, child to child. For you as parents, please be assured that if you tell us there is an issue with your child and another child, we don't tell the children that your mum has said or your dad has told us this. It is done anonymously, and it's done internally, so the children will still feel that school are helping, not mum and dad know, and now I feel this sense of embarrassment, so to speak. It's absolutely fine to help your child with your support. So if you're aware of anything, please share immediately. However small you think it is, we can then add it to our what we would call register or log of concerns, and then we can start to see a pattern of behavior. So for example, you might personally know 4 separate occasions of the same child affecting your child, but we don't know because they're in isolation and your child has maybe not come forward, but you know. If you know anything, just share with us, and we can assure you that it's being dealt with confidentially and appropriately. Nothing is ignored in terms of bullying. Many of us as teachers, many of us as adults have possibly encountered bullying, personally, and it's abhorrent. It's totally inappropriate, unacceptable behavior of an individual making another individual feel less than. And we focus on the other individual, on how to control their emotions. And often that bully child is then told to then go to the counsellor for more supportive techniques as well. So that's supported by home, teachers, and then the professional, that counsellor. The appraisal of Crew Mint, I very much like that suggestion. So I will talk to Mr Pine about a more formalised appraisal from parents and children. As Crew Mint and the secondary counsellor are staff of Amnosin, they are under, my remit as head teacher and Mr Mandan in terms of observation, continual conversation of how things are going. So they're not left to their own devices, and we hope that they're okay. We know that there is a standard to be maintained, and as professionals and as leaders of the school, we are accountable and responsible to make sure that those teachers or adults interacting, supporting your children are of a certain level and standard. So I very much do like the feedback or appraisal from parents and children. So I'll talk to Mr Pine and Mr Mandan about that. Wi-Fi, yes, that was unfortunate that the example today gave that. Just to clarify, it was an automatic shutdown for an update on my laptop, which should not have happened. But I do agree, Wi-Fi does continually need to be improved, and we are working on that. And from the annual parent survey, data does support that from you as parents, that you considerably all feel that Wi-Fi needs to be improved, and that's supported by the children as well. So our IT department has been invested in to ensure that Wi-Fi connectivity has improved, and it has improved over time, but possibly not as quick as it should be with the number of devices and needs of the school. But that is ever evolving. Bring your own device. Yes, as Mr. Power said, there will be a continuum, so a progression map that will be sent to parents to show you exactly what we are covering with the children. So by end of year 4, this is the expectation. By the end of year 5, expectation. By the end of year 6, expectation. That will also include screen time as well. Our role as educators for Bring Your Own Device is to primarily ensure the children can navigate online safely. So focusing on digital citizenship. For us as educators, we focus first on how to use the device safely before using the device. Unfortunately, that plan was affected when all children, nursery to year 13, were on devices sooner than planned because of lockdown and COVID. So we are having to revise our needs and progression in line with our children's abilities now. Because there are certain children, even in year 1, year 2, their skill in using a device is more advanced than we would expect. So we just need to revise how we are teaching and using Bring Your Own Device so it continues to be effective and not just an expensive electronic book for the children to use. It should enhance their learning, not replace it. Water dispensers, they are checked regularly. I would have to talk to Ajahn Urchit how regular that is, but Kunjitima, as a member of the PTA, you would have access to that information in contact with Mr Pine and Ajahn Urchit. They are checked, and I believe it is through either filtration or osmosis. And I think through osmosis, it is a certain effect on the taste of water, but it shouldn't be notable to be a disagreeable taste. But I will talk to Ajahn Urchit about the regularity of the checks and whether the filters need to be upgraded, so to speak, but all filters are tested regularly. Respecting Rights Award, just to explain about the bronze. The Respecting Rights Award is a UK accreditation, and we joined Respecting Rights Association 2-3 years ago, and through that year of implementing the student rights into our planning, into our environment, sharing it with parents, we were awarded bronze, which is not the same as gold, silver, bronze in terms of our performance wasn't good. Every school, when they start respecting rights, achieve bronze, and then they work their way towards silver, and then they work their way towards gold. So being awarded bronze for us was a huge achievement, and it gives us the next step in terms of how we can further the children's understanding of their rights and responsibility for children, staff, and parents as a community. Student Council, our plan for this year is to have the current Student Council eco-warriors and respecting rights explorers actually present in the assemblies to promote themselves to the children, why they enrolled, what their job is, and why others should consider it as well. So, Kunjitma, for you to think that, fantastic. We are implementing that as well. And the final one, reward system. I think you have cameras somewhere in the school, because that is exactly what we are planning to do. I have actually awarded one child in year 3 today, the head teacher award, because they're awarded 3 house points for a piece of work. So that's exceptional work. My deputy head teachers will be meeting the children weekly in assemblies and making the positive rewards more active in those assemblies. So giving out Star of the Week, appraisals, and focusing on the positive of those children. So we're moving from dojo to more certificate, sticker, verbal praise for those children. Okay, thank you. Kunpami.
Good morning, teachers.
Good morning.
Okay, can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a couple of questions here. The first one is, a couple of weeks ago, I went to pick up my child late, and I have heard from my another parent is the teacher pick up my child to send to another parent at the swimming pool gate.
Okay.
Okay. I hope that it won't happen again. So, but luckily, my friend who's another parent was like, you know, she knows my child, so she would just say like, that is not her child, so the teacher needs to bring her back to the waiting area or something. Okay.
Is it because children had same names?
No, my name is Jida, Jida, but another name is Janine, Janeen. So I just probably like, I don't know, probably misunderstood something.
Thank you. We'll immediately look into that. Thank you.
Thank you. And the second one is, I was really concerned about the waiting area for the after school for the nursery one. Are there any teachers with them or not? Because I think lately she was trying to run for the bathroom after I just picked her up from the swimming gate. So I tried to ask her like whether there was a teacher with her or not. She said there are no teachers to pick her for the bathroom.
In all areas, especially for nursery, there are adults. So the teachers will remain with the nursery children until they're collected. So there will always be an adult with the children. And for the older children, they are grouped along a table, and there'll be maybe 1 or 2 teachers observing them. But for nursery and reception, there would be more adults needed than for the older children. So there's always an adult with the nursery children.
Okay, thank you. I think I just need to tell her like she's gonna go to find somebody.
Okay. I'll talk to the teachers as well about asking her, do you need to go to the toilet?
Okay. Say hi to the teacher. Well, his brother just got detected last week, so we just returned from nursery that she needs to come with me, but we are all fine right now.
No problem.
It's been 4 days already. She's gonna go back to school on Monday anyway. So to be confirmed about picking up the children after school at 3:40. So right now we need to pick them up at the flip gate or at the swimming pool gate.
Krushain, would you like to confirm?
ค่ะคุณแม่ตอนนี้เนี่ยนะคะตอนช่วง 3:40 คือหลัง after school แบบจ่ายตังค์ใช่ไหมคะเราแบ่งเป็น2ประตูค่ะเพราะว่าลดความแออัดของผู้ปกครองนะคะก็คือตามปกติเลยเราไม่ได้มารวมที่ front flip gate แล้วนะคะยกเว้นกรณีที่ฝนตกแรงมากและผู้ปกครองไม่สามารถรอที่ swimming pool ได้จริงๆ เคสนั้นเราถึงจะปิดประตูซึ่งถ้าเป็นเคสแบบนั้นก็ต้องขอให้ผู้ปกครองทุกท่านอดทนนิดนึงนะคะอาจจะคิวยาวอาจจะช้านิดนึงแต่ว่าช่วงพายุเข้าเนี่ยไปให้ผู้ปกครองรอตรงนั้นมันก็ไม่สะดวกอะค่ะมันดูแบบนิดนึงอะค่ะ
โอเคค่ะได้ค่ะพอดีเห็นใน
อ๋อสไลด์เมื่อกี้ใช่ไหมคะมันเป็นสไลด์เก่าค่ะเมื่อกี้ผู้ใหญ่เข้าไปแก้แล้วค่ะขอบคุณนะคะ
ค่ะคุณครูค่ะแล้วก็oh about the costume table I know that the teacher need to plan before but like this week today the normal school need to wear a Thai costume right but the schedule was sent yesterday so somebody was a little bit of panic because they thought that they need to wear the house color
that was my fault I forgot that I only gave out 1.1 clothing I assumed I automatically gave out term 1 so it wasn't until a parent said oh Mr Parry what is Friday's dress and I looked back and oh I haven't actually told parents sorry
okay.
Yeah it's fine
thank you very much for sending that table so we need to prepare
no problem
okay
ultimately sorry if your children do come in house colors during Thai culture we're not going to say to the children where's your Thai cultural clothes it's fine
yeah but sometimes when she was just wearing something
different
from her friend she was just like a little bit panic but anyway it's fine thank you anyway one last question I would like to have the suggestion about the school visiting well in my opinion I think it's great experiences for the parents to see how the kids was doing in their classroom how do they interact with the friends or teachers like last time that we were invited for the going to school in the gym but what we need to see is how do they play with their friends not to drag the parents to play with them so it's probably like the same idea that we are joining the activities but what we need to see is how do they doing
in the classroom
like that okay
yes so
for me
no problem so Mrs Dunnington said that based on the parents feedback from term 1 the stay play stay and create and stay and innovate for nursery reception year 1 will now be hosted in the classrooms we initially put them in the main hall because we wanted to showcase to you the main hall otherwise you as parents may not have ever seen the main hall and also it's a new opportunity for you all to come together as a class and a year group for some of them so for 1.2 we will be sending out dates next week about the A group and the B group so there'll be less parents at once but all in the classroom
thank you very much
thank you parents any other questions I can help you with
Mr. Parry, is there a list of questions in the
oh there is I can see
yes there are so I also put one question there perhaps would you like to go through those questions please
I assume if it's written in Thai it's been replied to which I can see Ajahn Kamanat doing so I'll respond to the English ones do let me know if a Thai question has not been answered Oh, there's a question about the bus survey. Mr. Pine is leading that. At the moment, it is a very interesting concept. We as a school are very happy to accommodate that, but it's finding the central points that we can either drop the children off to or finding a route system that we can accommodate the number of families not living in the same area. So for that bus survey, Mr. Pine is leading that. So he will either send out more information or possibly contact PTA to maybe support with that as well. Kun Manin about a joint school parent inspection activity periodically checking systems. I like that idea. Thank you very much. I will inform Mr. Pine of that idea. With the health and safety, for example, we do have parent representatives as well. And because we have the PTA association, they will be more involved as well with aspects of the school as your representatives. So I will talk to Mr. Pine about that, possibly inviting you in to do some checks or some working parties as well. Thank you. So from you, Kunjitima, revealing the survey results, thank you. In SALT, we are talking about presenting significant data via Facebook or our social media. So for example, like 95 parents believe this, or 87% of children believe this. So we will present the data accordingly throughout the year. So again, Ajahn Urchit and Mr. Pine with PR and the CEO are leading that as well, sharing that information. Generally for me, if it is a Google survey from parents, though I don't share the data itself, I do thank the parents for the results, but I can in future include quantitative data saying 70%, 80%, 90% of you agree for this. So I will share that as well, be more transparent.
Exactly. I think that would be sufficient because sometimes I did spend a lot of time replying to those surveys very, very properly. And I think if the parents would have a chance to see the result, they would feel more encouraged too. Because some of the survey, I feel like it is so meaningful for parents respond.
Yeah.
So it would be encouraging and transparent, as you mentioned. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I think if we do share the data when we can, it gives you, the parents, the assurance that we are listening to you, not just giving you a survey to pretend to listen to you, but we're going to do it anyway. So we never do that as a school anyway. So if the parents don't want something, we won't implement it. Obviously, it's very difficult to accommodate parents, for example, not to pick on you, Jitima, but you have a certain view of bring your own device, whereas other parents love it and support it, and parents in the middle as well. So it's finding that happy place to accommodate a majority of parents and supporting those parents who need more support, you know, in helping those children and giving more information. Mr. Thompson, Ajahn Varani, and Mr. Flores are all ICT or computing leads in terms of the curriculum and are leading and have led parent workshops. So Mr. Flores on Tuesday already led a workshop about parent controls and use of Facebook, TikTok, etc. So for those of you who are interested but were unable to attend, that will be on the blogosphere as well under parent workshops for you to watch at your own leisure. But more information is coming. So I apologize if I say this incorrectly, Tapon, for contacting the parents, I will remind the teachers to make sure that it is within 24 hours. It depends on the workload of the teacher, whether it is an immediate response or a slight delayed, but you should never be waiting days for a response. If you find yourself waiting a considerable amount of time for your response, please contact me and I will chase the teacher up. Sometimes the email automatically goes to spam, or the teacher reads it to reply later, but forgets to unread so they can refer back to it. So I will deal with that straight away. Okay, so again, again, I apologize if I said that wrong. The teachers should not be emailing you about working hours, but might say that because it's outside of school hours, there will be a delay in my reply. But of course, we will reply. That's our responsibility. If you ask a question, we should reply. So again, I will make it very clear for the expectations of the teachers, just to ensure that we are working effectively as home and school. Any other questions, parents, that I can help you with? Or Kunjitima.
Me again, Mr. Parry. It is not a question. I just would like to take this opportunity to promote the work of the PTA, if you like. Okay. The thing is, PTA is the identity that is working towards the better community in Amnoisin. We are not only representing parents, but also the teachers in the school. So, I would like to encourage every one of you to actively be part of the PTA because you are already automatically our member and the PTA member. So ขออนุญาตนะคะจะขออนุญาตโปรโมทPTA สมาคมผู้ปกครองและครูนะคะสมาคมผู้ปกครองและครูเนี่ยเป็นสมาคมของผู้ปกครองและครูไม่ใช่แค่ผู้ปกครองอย่างเดียวนะคะดิฉันจะขออนุญาตเชิญผู้ปกครองทุกท่านนะคะเข้าไปในเว็บไซต์ของPTA ขอโทษค่ะ Facebook ของ PTA นะคะมีกิจกรรมมากมายอยู่ในนั้นนะคะแล้วก็อยากรับฟังคอมเมนต์หรือว่าข้อเสนอแนะต่างๆของผู้ปกครองทุกคนด้วยค่ะนะคะดิฉันเองเป็นหนึ่งใน PTA representative และในแต่ละชั้นปีก็จะมี PTA representative อยู่นะคะก็ year group PTA รบกวนทุกท่านติดต่อได้โดยตรงนะคะเดี๋ยวจะมีอีเมลประกาศแจ้งไปอีกรอบหนึ่งค่ะขอบคุณมากค่ะท่านจะได้เห็นมีกิจกรรมต่างๆไม่ว่าจะเป็นการแลกเปลี่ยนเสื้อผ้าสคูลยูนิฟอร์มที่ยังใหม่อยู่หรือเป็นการขอความอนุเคราะห์ผู้ปกครองช่วยในการบริจาคเงินเล็กๆน้อยๆนะคะเพื่อนำไปทำกิจกรรมต่างๆต่อไปเป็นต้นนะคะท่านผู้ปกครองมีคอนเซิร์นอะไรยินดีรับฟังนะคะ PTA ถ้าจะทำอะไรให้ท่านได้ก็ยินดีจะเป็นตัวช่วยประสานระหว่าง ILO ขอโทษค่ะที่ทำงานระหว่าง PTA กับโรงเรียนนะคะขอบคุณค่ะเดี๋ยวจะพิมพ์ชื่อ Facebook ของ PTA เข้าไปให้นะคะขอบคุณค่ะ Thank you Mr Parry
Thank you Kun Oil you had a question
I just wanted to ask Kun Prem about this Facebook group but she said that she's going to share with us in the chat box.
Fantastic thank you Parents anyone else that I can help any questions If not in this meeting, more than welcome, of course, to email me or any one of us, and we will respond to you as soon as we can. Okay, so there's a question about the library. So you'll all be aware that the nursery has moved down to the ground floor, finally, for early years learning, for indoor and outdoor, and we wish to replicate that for reception as well. So in order for that to be ready for May 2023 for reception, the library will be closed for this half term and the rest of the year, and it will be renovated not while the children are on site, so it's on the weekends, during the holidays, etc., to keep a safe environment. So the library is out of use, or traditional use of the library is out of use. The children will still have access to books internally. So the librarians will be going around the classes. The children can visit where the library is currently being stored in separate rooms. So we have like a foundation book room, a primary book room, a secondary book room. So the children will still have access, but not so much as they did previously. But they will have books going home as well occasionally. Thank you. Mr. Power.
Just to add on to that, a pamphlet is going home to the primary students today with information on how to log into the click and collect service that will be operating. So that will be handed out today by the library staff.
Thank you. Parents, thank you very much for joining today. It's been a very successful meeting, lots of us joining, 40 maximum. Please share the information with any of your friends if they've missed out. But obviously this will be on our blogosphere, the recording and the slides as well. So thank you very much for your time today. Have a fantastic week ahead, and I will look forward to seeing you on Monday. Take care.
Mr. Parry,
Thank
just
you.
quickly ask, you would send a response to all of the questions, what do you call, what you have accomplished after suggestion that was made by us, right?
In time, yes. So any changes coming, I will email out Mr. Pine my email out, yes. So it won't be an immediate
Understand.
request
Thank
action.
You.
It will in time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.